Welcome back to Game On, and exciting times in as far as the beautifully South African games, with plenty to talk about in both the curling knockouts, some upsets there, and some rather interesting results coming from that cup competition, as well as the league. But we'll start with the league. Cherise Kosana joining me now, and it's interesting times, Cheri, for the sides that are now having to juggle what's happening locally, including the Champions League as we move towards December. But Maskalanga Pirates, 100% record so far, setting records. Bashai Richards Bay 1-0. Your thoughts on Richards Bay and the way they approached the game against the Mapagania?
Well, Sizwe, if I have to go back and look at their record in terms of 7 games and 7 wins in the league, maybe for them to bow out of the curling was something good. It was like a blessing for them, because if you look at the state of the teams that are campaigning in the continent and still continuing in the curling, there were some few things that happened. But yeah, I think for Pirates it's good, because now the whole concentration is like in the league, and now they're taking it into the continent.
I have to ask you, the way they're sharing responsibility here in finding the wins. Mahopa now is the next person stepping up. He's already done it before the season, but they've got a number of players here that can find the breakthrough even on a tough game like this.
But if I look at the coach now, Ribeiro, the way things are happening, I think a little bit of fatigue is creeping in some of the players. Look at the instance that I just spoke about now, where they lost to Magesi. You look at the team that he put in, because he was trying to give other players some fresh time of playing, but it didn't come right because they lost the game to Magesi. But now, same team, almost every game that they're playing. But even though they won against Richards Bay, it was a scrappy win. It was not convincing, you know, because if you look at Pirates and you look at the way they perform at Orlando Stadium, for me, it wasn't a good one against Richards Bay. Yes, they've got the 3 points. That's the most important thing.
Yep. Now, another side that's competing out on the continent in the Confederations Cup is Stellenbosch. They've had the disappointment in the curling knockout, but let's talk about the league and something interesting happening in their game against TX Galaxy. I think the last time we saw a coach resigning live on TV was maybe 2016, I think, if I'm not mistaken, or Ertugal and Molemela, when Pirates were beaten 6. TX Galaxy coach, after the 1-1 scoreline in Stellenbosch, live on television, says thank you very much, great experience, walking away. Your thoughts?
Really, I never anticipated this. I never thought this was going to happen to such a great man that I always give credit to what he has done in South African football. Let's look at most of the players that were produced by TS Galaxy under his influence, and those that were sold to other clubs. So for me...
Is that the problem, Zomshalan? The number of players you couldn't hold on to, do you think it added Goma frustration to a point where
I don't know. If I'm a coach, I bring players. If the management says we want to sell these players and I'm not happy as a coach, so I don't know what happened in that instance. So I don't know if that's the real truth in terms of the players that were sold out. Was it his consent to say they can be sold or not? And now the frustration is coming in, but I feel bad about it. It wasn't a good thing for him to leave.
Well, a huge loss for Galaxy fans. And the big talking point, part 3 of what's been an interesting story so far in this season. Mamelodi Sundowns against Polokwane City. Sundowns fans will remember the loss not too long ago, and Sundowns was back here. 2-0 the score. Also, what's interesting is the squad he puts out and the man that gets the goals, the youngster Olutlaku.
Well, I cannot dwell too much on the result that happened on Wednesday. I mean, midweek game about Litlaku. All I want to put you through, and all the viewers at home, is like, if you talk about Kaizer Chiefs youngsters that come from the TDC, Shabalala Vilagazi.
Sure.
If you want to talk about Orlando Pirates youngsters that are coming from the TDC, Mofokeng in Kota.
Yes.
Now, on Wednesday, I noticed 2 youngsters from the TDC as well. It's Sundowns. Litlaku and Koza, the defender.
Sure.
I mean, for me, it's so exciting, because that's the thing that I can touch on to say, at least as clubs, the development are doing good, and big ups to TDC for the whole thing that they are doing in that reserve league. So for me, that's the good way of going forward as South Africa.
Now, interesting indeed. Let's take the league. Sibig excited. talk culling knockout. Interesting results, especially for Richards Bay. Now, they're struggling to find goals. I think a couple of goals so far this season. But no, against Cape Town City, go through on penalties.
Yeah, they still can't score goals.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at the league,
they really can't.
they've scored one, and then they've scored one in the culling. So it's something that is not good about. Yes, they won the culling through the penalties, but remember, they lost in the league from the same team, 1-0. So it's something which they need to work on. It's like finishing.
Now, everyone was looking forward to what's going to happen at the FNB Stadium. Kaizer Chiefs and Mamelodi Sundowns. The fans an issue, but it wasn't just about the fans. It was about the way Sundowns was going about business. Jay, from starting Bobo and Sundowns means business.
A lot. I mean, that's the team that you'll always respect. I mean, for me, it was Chiefs versus Bafana Bastille.
Yeah.
I can't put it as Bafana.
Yeah, sure.
But almost.
Bafana Bastille is cool. Yeah, that's good enough.
Good enough.
Yeah.
And there is style. So accommodates everybody. So that's the difficulty Chiefs had to go through, and also the early goals that they considered. Remember, Chiefs have got enough, like more of halves that they normally use. So unfortunately, the first half was not good enough for them. They tried in the second half. Red card made it worse for Miguel. So unfortunately, but good for Sundowns. Maybe
this was a sign of Raptors to come midweek, but it's just Galaxy Jalenda Magesi. Magesi is making a name for themselves. Here they are, but we know 1-0. They're through now to the semi-finals. But Magesi are turning into quite a squad. Lagule Kali knockout.
Babi Magesi, man. You know, Clinton, give credit.
Sure.
Maragakul, I still want to say it again. Wonder Boy.
Sure.
No ways. Wonder Boy. That boy deserves to be somewhere. You know, he's for me, he's a trump card.
And then defending champions are out. Marumo Gallants is still in Bosch, which maybe was the shock of the weekend with the Google results knockout.
Yeah, really, shock of the weekend. For me, remember, Marumo Gallants, they just lost to East Ellis 1-0, and then they go to Bloemfontein and they played like a good football that I've seen them play. But I did anticipate it as well, to say we will see the change, because it's not going to be easy for Stelis to get into the township, you know, where they were playing. I think that was like something which it worked for Marumo Gallants to play at Dr. Petrus Molemela Stadium.
Well, interesting times in as far as the culling knockout. We're not done in talking about it. On the other side of this, we talk about the semi-finals. We know who will be playing who. And, well, we'll get Jerry's thoughts on that in just a short while.